Hello everyone, my name is Matthew the Autism Guy, and Mario Kart 8 is almost upon us, and trust me, the hype is real. So since I'm really hyped for this game, I figured I would express my hype and make a list of my top 10 Mario Kart 8 tracks I'm most excited for. Now I just want to clarify two things before we start. 1. This list will include both new and retro tracks on here, since they all seem to have something new to them. And 2, these are my opinions. Mine. So if you don't like my picks, leave a comment of the tracks you're looking forward to instead of complaining, because that's just pointless. Okay, I'm done rambling. Let's get this list started. As a huge fan of tropical weather, and as someone who wants to live near the ocean someday, I really like Cheep Cheep Beach from Mario Kart DS. Unlike a lot of other retro tracks, this one didn't really change all that much besides a hang gliding section and some underwater areas. This is also one of the few tracks that doesn't have anti-gravity. But just because the track isn't changed a lot, that doesn't make it bad. I just like the atmosphere that this track gives off. I think water helps make HD games look beautiful, and this track is no exception. All of that tied with the music, and I actually feel like I'm on a tropical vacation. I'm sure this will be one of those tracks that I replay a lot simply due to the atmosphere. Sunshine Airport. I definitely think this track is going to become the most popular in the game. I mean, you're driving through an airport that references Super Mario Sunshine. Usually going through an airport is very boring because you have to wait around all the time, but Mario Kart can make anything fun! I wouldn't mind having my flight delayed here because this track is just pleasant. I'm gonna end this part by saying this. Nintendo, please make an HD remake of Super Mario Sunshine. You know you want to. Rainbow Road. Now I know this track has gotten a lot of backlash for not being the insane Rainbow Road that everyone wanted, but I still like it. I like how it takes place above the Earth and you can see a lot of space-like things. Asteroids, spaceships, the sun, and even shooting stars. I also really like the music that plays here. It definitely gives off that Rainbow Road feeling. I also enjoy that it's 3 laps instead of 3 sections, which was the case for Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road. Will this be a Rainbow Road for the ages? Probably not. But I really do like it, even more than the N64 remake in fact. Sorry fanboys. Grumble Volcano. This was one of my favorite tracks from Mario Kart Wii, so obviously, I'm happy to see it return. Just like Cheep Cheep Beach, this track hasn't really changed a lot other than, of course, the graphical upgrade and 1 or 2 hang gliding sections. But the graphical upgrade is so advanced, it's insane. Even the lava of all things gives off a sense of beauty. I also like how they kept the original piece of music instead of remixing it, because really, how can you top the original? If you ever race me online, you'll definitely see me picking this track a lot. Okay, honestly, who else gets Wreck-It Ralph vibes from this track? Anyways, Sweet Sweet Canyon is incredibly creative in its design. It's a whole track made out of desserts. There's cake, ice cream cones, lollipops, Oreos, gingerbread toads, candy cane fences, so that you can drive in, and a donut cannon. A freaking donut cannon! This track is proof that Nintendo can still be creative to this day. Trust me, I'll be replaying this track for a long time. Sherbert Land has always been one of my favorite tracks from Double Dash, and I had so much glee on my face when I heard this track was coming back. And may I say, I was very impressed with the upgrade that got. Instead of taking place during daytime, now the track takes place at night, with beautiful aurora lights to boot. There are also 2 underwater sections, which pretty much add to half the track. But they still keep the track true to its roots, of course, as they still have the ice skating Shy Guys and Freezies. I can definitely see this being a lot of people's favorite retro track. Like I said with Cheep Cheep Beach, I'm a big fan of tropical environments, but Dolphin Shoals is like a dream come true. This track just looks like tons of fun. You really feel like you're driving through the underwater depths. There's dolphins, jellyfish, and even a giant eel. And when you surface, you drive above a whirlpool. That was a nice touch. I really like the saxophone that plays during the music, even though I prefer Cheep Cheep Beach's music more. But nevertheless, I have high hopes for this track. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if it's any good. It's a joke! Back in Mario Kart Wii, I wasn't impressed with Moo Moo Meadows. It felt so bland and uninspired to me. But here, oh man, this track looks great! Instead of taking place midday, it now takes place at a beautiful sunrise. It also looks a lot more like a farm this time around. Plus a new hang gliding ramp was added. There is no anti-gravity, but in all honesty, where would you put it? The amount of detail on this track is just incredible! And the outside of the track is a lot more open. Trust me, this track is an absolute slap in the face to all the people who think the Wii U isn't next gen. And just when you thought your eyes would explode, your ears receive a treat as well with this beautiful remixed piece. Take a quick listen. This music piece, in my eyes, has turned from an incredibly bland tune to one of my absolute favorites in the whole series. Once I start my online match series for this game, you'll be hearing extreme glee from me once this track pops up. And here we have the final retro track on my list, Yoshi Valley from Mario Kart 64. This is considered by many as one of the most memorable tracks in Mario Kart history, and I can definitely see why. Nintendo did a fantastic job bringing it to Mario Kart 8. This is probably the most detailed track in the game. There seems to be a few more paths this time around, with the most noticeable one being a barrel cannon that makes for a great hang gliding section. And there are a lot more guardrails this time around. Heck, there's even water in the valley and multicolored Yoshis in the background. I also like that they kept the giant rotating egg. All of this mixes together for a great track. And Yoshi is awesome, so it's a winning combination. Yes, Mount Frickin' Wario. To me, this track is pure golden. Even though it's a 3-section track, which personally I don't really enjoy, this is 3-section racing done right. The track starts inside a giant helicopter. Once the race begins, you drive off the helicopter onto the top of a huge snowy mountain. After a few turns, you start driving on ice, which then leads you into a giant ice cave, which includes some anti-gravity and hang gliding segments. You then enter Wario's own dam, where you go into anti-gravity again to drive on the side of the dam, with boost pads going down water streams. Then you enter a huge forest with 2 different paths and logs you can do tricks off of. You continue on and enter a skiing section with a bunch of slalom gates. Then there's the final anti-gravity section that resembles ski jumping, because you jump off of a ramp into another hang gliding section that has 3 boost rings. And the race ends once you reach the log cabins. Brilliant! I just love the setup for this track. It really does feel like you're going down a large mountain. The placement of each obstacle feels very well thought out. There's even a large crowd cheering you on from the sidelines, and the music is godlike. If I were to describe this track to you in 10 words or less, I would say Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, but good. Mario may be the mascot of Nintendo, but it's his greedy arch-rival that steals the spotlight for creativity in this installment of Mario Kart. Well, that does it for my list, but remember, these are not the tracks I think are going to be the best. And heck, any of the tracks I mentioned could easily be moved around once I actually play them. This was just for fun, so don't take this list too seriously. So what tracks are you looking forward to the most in Mario Kart 8? Be sure to let me know in the comments, I'm actually quite interested. Thanks for watching everyone, have an awesome day.